We've just finished a research piece looking at the state of analytics within the HR industry from an Asian context. I would say only about 8% are operating in a predictive way. HR thinks it's reacting, it's not. HR thinks it's producing the numbers, it's not. It's producing reactive and reporting numbers, not strategic and predictive numbers. The skills aren't necessarily there yet. The understanding of what metrics to measure and how those metrics apply to a business issue is not necessarily there yet. I was working with an entire HR team last week, and they have every bit of data that they want. They have a shared services center that constantly produces all of the data that they need, but they don't know what are the metrics they should be measuring. They don't address it to specific business issues, and then they cannot tell the business story afterwards. And the metrics and the data is only a foundation of the conversation. How do you tell the story behind that data? What's the trend? What's the pattern? What's the implications for business? What does it mean in terms of the strategy you're undertaking? Is it working? Is it not working? You can't have that conversation. Workforce analytics in its present format is not big data. You do not need a data scientist to crunch the numbers. You might need an IT guy to extrapolate the numbers. But ultimately, in its present form, it's not a big data issue. It's a pure analysis of a series of metrics and what they mean for a business. So, do they have the skills to have the conversation? I think there's a lot of confusion within the industry around workforce analytics, that they think it's big data, and they can hide behind big data because it's so complicated, nobody gets it. Whereas actually the conversation they need to be having is, what's the strategy, what's the business issue we're trying to address? And that requires that partnership with the business leaders. The value of the metrics is that you can define the change and the value of the change on a quarterly and a regular basis, so the business leaders can see the value.